Just like the election day, which falls on the 7th of December, the state decides when we enumerate people. And it is called the census night because from this very day, depending on how you passed the night on a very rainy day yesterday, they can tell by midnight whether you are in your place of domicile or you are in transition. So chances are for most Muslims in this country, they will be at home with their families. Some too may have traveled to visit, and some could also be at the lorry station, maybe the OA station. They're on their way to Tamale and other areas. So we ask for complete coordination and cooperation with the census officers. Whatever information they ask of you, willingly share. And people should not be paranoid. Hajia, there's a sense that, oh, are they gathering data to do a second Kokrum so that they sack people of Northern and Muslim descent? And that is not what is happening. It's important that we have a fair idea of our numbers. So when government does interventions like amenities, facilities like hospitals, libraries, and all that, Muslims will stand to benefit. I would want to emphasize literacy. And one of the things they will ask you will be your level of literacy. And mostly when we talk numbers, even though it is important we get to know the number of Muslims, if we are even 50% and 48% are uneducated, that number will not be too significant. So there's a nexus between our efforts to ensure we get our accurate number and also encouraging people to get educated. The Holy Prophet ﷺ had a saying in which he said, and there will come a day, تتقلب عليكم الأمم يوشك أن تتداعى عليكم الأمم كما تداعى الأكلة على قصعتها. قالوا أم من قلة نحن يومئذ يا رسول الله قال لا بل أنتم كثير ولكنكم غثاء كغثاء السيل. The Prophet said, it's almost time, or in no time, the whole nations of the world would mass up against you the way predators mass up on a prey. You see, when there is a pride of lions and they go for a hyena or they go for any kind of a game or a prey, how they do it in coordination, the kind of attacks Muslims are undergoing currently. Then they ask the Prophet, why would we succumb to that? Would our number be small? The Prophet said, no, your number would be huge, but it would be as insignificant as a foam that emanates from the ocean. So the numbers are important, no two ways about that. But then let's get numbers with quality, and education will ensure that, quality we are talking about. So there are some of our our mothers, they learned Arabic, so they know the alif baw. Even when they write your name as a child, of course, your mother knows you more than anybody. Before anybody knew your name, your mother knew your name. So they can write your name, not in English. They can write your name in Hausa. Even Kudin Abinchi, for example, if your mother knows Alif Baw, Kudin Abinchi, she can do Kef, Bidomma, Dal, Bilkasiri. It would be with Arabic alphabet, but she would have kept a record. Some of our mothers are like that. So don't allow yourself to be registered as an illiterate if you can write anything in any language. I don't know how to emphasize this point, because we don't want a situation, it's okay, Muslims, you are 35% or 45%, but then 95% of you are illiterate. That wouldn't be good for us. So if you can write anything Arabic, please tell the census officers you are literate. If you can write anything in Hausa, using English alphabets, tell the census officers that you are educated in Dagbanle and any other language. So for as long as you are conversant with any form of alphabets, Arabic or English, and you use the alphabets to transliterate, but in your own language, then please indicate that you are literate and not illiterate.
So I was asked this before the interview today, that some people might be a little confused about what happened before. People came around asking for the head of the family, how many washrooms you have. So what if people may be confused? What's the difference between that and what's happening today?
That's a good question, Farida. From the 13th, what they did was listing of the homes and structures, other structures. So they came to you to identify the primary household. So you have a father, Alaji has got a house in Medina, for example, or Nima, but then there are tenants or there are other family relations. So they needed to know who the owner of the facility was or is. So that person would be the primary household. But all others, like the universal and the other subsets, will come down. And in our communities, every room is a household on its own. So every single room or every chamber and hall has a father, a mother, or a husband and a wife and their children. And so you don't register Zongo homes as a single household. So you register the primary owner as the household, landlord and his family. They will be counted. And then those people who are tenants or family relations that have come from far and near and are staying around this time. Census night means on this day, that is where you are passing the night. And so that is how to start. And if you have two wives, you do Makkah and Medina. So, oh, Baba Nachang. Baba cannot be counted here and counted there as well. If he's with Wargida today, he should be counted in the house of Wargida. Okay. If it is with Amaria, he should be counted in the house of Amaria. He can't do double enumeration. You say, oh, I'm a man of two faces. I have 4 wives, so count me 4 times. Much as we are calling for our numbers to be known, we need to be accurate. We need to be credible because Islam is about credibility. So the first one that was done was just to have a sense of the conditions at home, who owns the home, and government is doing affordable housing. So if they get to know many of the households in the country are secondary, they are tenants, it will shape government policy in cushioning people and providing decent housing. So it's important. But the real count begins today. So from tonight, people, so in earnest, by tomorrow, you should have a feeling of what is happening. You should get some people coming to you, and it will span a period of a fortnight. But I'm sure they will do an extension to do a mop up, so that those houses they have missed. And you saw that when they came to do the listing, they had unique tablets. They call the tablets puppies, uniquely made for this exercise. But I will repeat, Ajia, make sure there is one karaki with you. Alaji, make sure at least there is one karaki to be able to look at what is happening, because it's a digital exercise and it's important that we get to know the details that are entered into the system so that our fair number will be known.